Hello, this is Elena with Black Sheep 303 Creative, and my project today is creating a removable ornament from a card front that you can give as a Christmas card / gift using the Elizabeth Craft Design Snowglobe scene die set. So here's the sort of framed version of the Snowglobe, and then there's a solid, and so you'll need one of each. You'll need one each of the snowbanks, one of the Noel, one of the backing plate, one of the snowflakes, one of the house, one of the small trees, and then two of the medium trees. That die actually cuts 3, just so you'll only need 2. And then you'll need the stitched circle die, which this is the 4th largest, I believe. And I'm just trimming off along the stitched edge because this is going to become my my sky. So it's like slightly smaller than the Snowglobe frame. Now there is a circle that comes with this die that I think you're supposed to really use as your opening. It's this smaller circle, but I wanted my frame to be kind of skinny, so I used the larger circle. I think the larger circle is actually meant to be the background piece, and then the smaller circle is supposed to be the frame, but I didn't do it that way because I wanted a wider scene for my ornament. So I kind of winged it a little bit with my circle dies there. Now, of course, I have to add a little detailing to my elements. So I'm using my Spectrum Noir markers and I'm coloring just a little bit of lines under my trees, like as if you can see branches under the snow with my JG6 marker, and I'll do that on all 4. And then I'm coloring my house under the roof line with my DR5 marker, which is very Christmassy red. And then I'm going to take my DR7 marker, which is kind of a brown red, and color the chimney. And then this backing plate piece, which you see, and the trunks are TN7. Okay, can't forget the trunks on the trees. And then you see that backing piece, and the Noel greeting is supposed to sit on top of it normally, but I'm going to use it a little bit differently. So I'm coloring the ends black, so those will be behind the screw holes in the little Noel greeting. And then I'm going to color the middle with the DR5. So those colors will show through, but I'm going to use it kind of in a weird way, not your normal method. Ignore those snowbanks on the left, they were wrong, so we'll fix those later. And now I'm just adding some fake snow to the roof of the house using my Pentart snow pen, which is awesome. So I just had to set that aside to dry. I drew the snow on the roof, and then I'm just letting it dry. And now for my background piece, I am using Distress Oxide and Iced Spruce to color the sky, basically. And it's a really nice grade green. It goes really nicely with this sort of Christmassy scene. It looks kind of gray, like a snowy sky might, but it also has a hint of green, so that's kind of fun. And I'm just blending it on from the craft mat onto the piece of cardstock with my blending tool in sort of a circular fashion, but you don't have to be too picky about it, because it blends really nicely and easily. And then I wanted to back my house and have like some color on the door, and there isn't a solid piece that comes with the die set, so I'm just drawing around it on a scrap piece of 85-pound white soft finish cardstock. All the other pieces were cut from 100-pound soft finish cardstock, and I'm just going to adhere. I colored the door there, as you saw, with my IG2 marker, and now I'm going to adhere the house on top of that white piece over the door with my Zig 2A glue pen. And okay, now here are my corrected snowbanks, and I'm going to add some sort of scribbly snow to the tops of the snowbanks. So I'm taking my quickie glue pen, and I'm really just randomly scribbling along the upper edge. And now I'm going to put some cool diamond Elizabeth Craft Design Silk Microfine glitter all over the glue and set that aside to dry for a little bit. Doesn't take long at all. And while those are drying, I'm going to adhere my circle, so my background down to the middle of my, I don't know, what am I calling it? The backing piece, the solid Snowglobe piece. And I'm going to use a combination of 6mm Elizabeth Craft Designs double-sided adhesive tape and Zig 2A glue pen, just to make sure that I'm going to get a really good contact between this background piece and the solid Snowglobe piece, because this is going to sort of be the backing on my whole scene. Now I have made a mistake here. I'm not going to tell you what it is quite yet. I will fix it, and you'll see me fix it. But there is a mistake that I just made by adhering that down. And so now I'm going to take the backing piece on the greeting plate, and normally this would be like something that you would put the greeting on and then it would sit on top. It would be like almost like a frame around the greeting. But instead of using it that way, I'm going to put it through the opening in the framed out piece. So I've cut out the Noel piece from the top piece of the snow globe, as you see there. And that red and black piece is going to get sandwiched in between the back snow globe and then the front snow globe frame. And then the Noel will sit on top of it and the color will show through the back. So it's a slightly different use of that. And so now I'm just adhering down my snow banks. I have burnished them down and like cleaned them off with a Swiffer cloth to get the sparkle on the glitter. And so I'm just using, again, a combination of the 6mm adhesive tape and the Zig 2A glue pen to adhere them in place. And they're pretty easy. You can just line them up with the circle of the snow globe to get them to fit correctly in place. And now I'm just trimming off the back of that white piece, the edges around the house to, trim it down. And then I'm going to just clean up the edges a tiny bit with the DR5 marker. So that's all ready to go. And now I am going to realize I made a mistake. So what I should have done before I adhered that ice spruce panel down was put my hanger on. So my hanger is it's like 2 pieces of silver embroidery floss. And so I've created a loop, and I'm going to tie a knot below the loop. So you could hang it on the tree if you wanted to. And it'll stay in a looped shape once I make the knot. And then I'm going to just trim it off a little bit below the knot and stick some 6mm adhesive tape below the knot. And I've sort of pried up that background piece, and I'm going to sandwich the ornament hanger, the embroidery floss, in between the ice spruce panel and the solid snow globe panel. So that will really be adhered in there really nicely. And luckily then the ice spruce panel just sticks to the double-sided adhesive tape that I glued the floss down with, and it is good to go. And you wouldn't even know that I made a mistake, so that was pretty lucky. So my advice would be, if you want to make this, put your ornament hanger on before you adhere that ice spruce panel down, obviously. But as you can see, you can fix it. So I've used 3mm double-sided adhesive tape for the frame piece with a tiny bit of Zig 2A glue on the bottom edges. And now I'm just going to fill in the rest of the pieces using my Zig 2A glue pen. So you see I've added the greeting. Oh, and this is where I decided that my base really needs to be a different color than the rest of the snow globe, because the white on white isn't really working for me. So I decided to color the whole thing in with my silver paint pen. And then I adhere everything down with my Zig 2A glue pen. Now, had I known I was going to do that ahead of time, I would have colored it before I had glued the whole thing together. But you know me, I tend to like kind of make it up as I go. So that was a decision that I made as I was working on this. And it worked out just fine. And now I have created a double bow with some baker's twine that's red and white. And I'm not going to go into how I did that. It's really easy, and there are a lot of videos on YouTube available that will show you how to do that. Gina K in particular has a great one. So, if you're interested in that, please do a search for that. And I have adhered it down to the top of my ornament with a micro glue dot. And now I'm taking my DR5 marker and I'm just dotting on either side, kind of in the middle, and then in the middle and the bottom. And then I'm going to go in between the dots I've already made, kind of eyeballing, and to evenly space them out just for a little decoration. And then I have this piece of paper from the Through the Lens wood collection from Elizabeth Craft Designs that I've trimmed down to 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And then that piece of red cardstock is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So I'm going to get a 1/16 of an inch red border all the way around this wood piece. And then I'm going to adhere that entire panel onto the front of an A2 size top folding card base that you saw there for a second. And here it is. That is done out of 100-pound white soft finish cardstock from Elizabeth Craft Designs. And I'll just adhere this down and trim it just a hair. And then I'm ready to adhere my ornament. Now I want to use repositionable adhesive. So this is repositionable like little dots in a runner that I'm using to stick that on the front. Or you could use something like glue dots, like removable glue dots. So I'm using a glue dot on the back. I'm going to wad it up into a lump, and I'm sticking it on the back of this gold star that I punched out with that little punch you see there on the right. And we use that to hold the ornament hanger down on the back, so somebody can pull this off and hang it on their tree, but it will still stay on the card front with that removable adhesive. And now, of course, I can't leave well enough alone. Gotta have extra sparkles. So this is my Spectrum Noir sparkle marker, where I've added additional sparkle to the snow on the trees, the snowflakes, and the roof of the house. And that is the completed project. And I know this was kind of a long video, so thank you if you've stuck with me the whole way. Thank you so much. It does seem complicated, but it really, really isn't. Like, once you have all those pieces die cut out, it's pretty fast to put together, and I really think could be assembly line fairly quickly, believe it or not. So thanks so much for watching. I hope I've given you a little inspiration for how to make like a cute ornament gift along with a holiday card this season. If you liked the video, please give me a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do so. I would love that as well. And you can follow me on Instagram at blacksheep303. Thanks. Have a great day.